Amazing. Good morning. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Colin. Good morning to those of us who are joining us on the Worldwide Wander. It's so great that you're here. I'm David Pearl. I am, what do we call me, Philip? They call me the founder of Street Wisdom because I found it, but I think it found me is the truth of it. And Kyle represents the wonderful consomme of generosity and creative beauty. That is Creative Mornings.
Amazing to be here. I'm so excited. I hope we have some chapter members and chapter organizers joining us, which is wonderful to see.
Yeah, this project is the kind of the love child of our two organizations. You'll hear more about Street Wisdom later, but essentially, I think we're so alike that it's amazing it's taken us a decade to get together. Kyle will tell you more about about Creative Mornings, but essentially, we got together to do this now, and thank you for joining us. Partly because looking at the world as it is, we figured that it was time for us creatives, and we're all creatives on this call, generous, kind people, to be exercising our imaginations just a little bit more, thinking of better ways to live and work, which is what creatives do. Because let's face it, if we imagine better futures, there's no guarantee they're going to happen. But if we don't imagine them, there is a guarantee they won't happen. So really, it's down to us, we feel. And we've got, there have been hundreds and hundreds of people who've been walking and getting lost and finding answers before you. So we've been getting ready for you, walk number 11, walk number 12. We're super happy that you're here with us. Kyle.
Good morning.
What are the sort of things we need to say? First, I think we need to say to people, hey, hello, it's great to see you, Rinat, Roxana, and Analia, and everybody else is joining. We'd love you if you can to turn on your cameras, just because look at us, we look awful. There's no, and we're showing you. Hey, Rinat. Hey, Roxana. Great to see you. That's the first thing. Secondly, that this is being recorded. Hope that's okay with you. We've been recording the whole 24 hours just because this is the first time we've done this, and we want to be able to look back and treat it as a historical document, but also to filter and go looking for treasure, as we're all of us looking for great ideas around the world. Also, we are being watched on YouTube. So wave to the billions out there who are watching us on YouTube. We are stars, we are influencers, we are socially hip. So people are watching us on YouTube. Although if you're on YouTube and watching, observing, you know that you can always easily join in, jump off YouTube, jump into the action, register on the Worldwide Wander website, theworldwidewonder.com, and join in the fun.
Absolutely.
So, Kyle, we've talked a little bit about why we're doing this and where we've been. Shall we introduce our special guest? Because at each of these little stages of our daisy chain of beauty around the world, we've asked one of our friends to provide a little bit of stimulus, a bit of energy, a bit of provocation. And Kyle is going to introduce who we've got, who's pre-recorded a little message for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. I've loved these little snippets that we've been sharing as part of the Wanders. So for this Wander, we've got Ankit Shah. We're very excited to welcome him. Ankit loves to bring people and ideas together, especially when they don't seem like they would go together very well. So with his enthusiasm, he's found a windy path from rural development to startup hacker and designer to facilitator to community leader and nonprofit founder to corporate social impact, and now in product partnerships. So that experience is going to make him sound very old, but he's not when you see the video. So you might know him from a social venture, Tea with Strangers. Let's hear from Ankit. And I'm just going to set that up. Give me a second here. A message from Ankit.
Hey everybody, my name is Ankit Shah, and as part of my contribution to the Worldwide Wander, one thing that I think that we need to find better ways to do collectively is spend more time by ourselves. I think that alone time, time in contemplation, time spent just noticing things and paying attention and not paying too much mind to what might be going on around you that you have a relationship with, but rather what's just going on around you that you can notice. I think paying attention to what's going on around us is one of the most fertile soils to find all kinds of inspiration. I think a lot of the answers that we're looking for are actually buried between the lines of things that are already happening all around us. But a lot of the time we get very lost in our interpretation of things and the stories that we're mapping on the things that we're engaging with. And there's a big difference, I think, between that and just saying, oh, this is happening. What can I see right now? That maybe if I was in the middle of doing something else, or if I was in the same exact place but just paying attention to my phone or to a conversation, but not to what's actually happening right here, what is it that I can see that maybe isn't always apparent to me? Because I think a lot of the time the things that we lose out on in the world that we live in today are things that happen because we're moving a little bit too fast. And I do think that there's not that many obvious incentives to spend time in slowness, which is to say, it's only gonna happen if you make the time for it. That's what I got. Thank you so much, and I hope you are enjoying this fantastic journey that we're all on. Mwah.
Amazing. I love that message about distraction, David, and I feel like there's no better antidote than what you've put together here with these wanders, having been on several of them now. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was touched by what he said about spending time alone, and it doesn't mean being lonely. Funnily enough, this is something I discovered when I started doing Street Wisdom. I'm quite a social person, and I like the buzz and the noise. I'm sure some of us do, but I hadn't traveled a lot by myself. And I guess I was a little bit scared of being alone and feeling lonely and thinking they were the same things. But I think what I discovered, and I think, again, what we'll experience together today, that there's something about being alone that can make you very connected to the world around you and to the people around you. If you, as Ankit says, can give yourself time to do that. And I think all of us sort of need permission and structures and really practices to be able to give ourselves, find that space. And I think that's really what Street Wisdom is. I thought it was an event, but we've discovered it's a practice, sort of practice that you can do any time when you're walking anywhere, including from the kitchen to the salon. I'm going to hand back to you in a second, Kyle, so that we can hear more about Creative Mornings. I'm getting the names mixed up because we're becoming twins.
This is merging. Yeah, why
exactly. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy to see our friends are joining, and I just wonder whether Rinat's actually already out in the street, and I'm just really intrigued where you are, everybody. So either in the chat, it's difficult sometimes on a mobile, or by changing your name, it'd be great if you could let us know where you are. It helps us understand and feel our little tendrils of awareness around the world. So Edith, Nico, Alisa, actually Alisa says, which is Jen, it'd be great if you could let us know where you are. Don't have to, but it would be lovely to. So back to you, Kyle. We're going to have some together alone time.
If I can advocate for just a few minutes about the world's largest anti-alone organization, Creative Mornings, and tell you a bit about what we do in the world. So my name is Kyle. So I'm going to do a quick screen adjustment here. You can see my notes that I have in my slides. I'm the Chief Community Officer at Creative Mornings. I've been involved for about 11 years. And I'm so excited to be part of this wander. And part of what made me so excited about this was the pandemic was the first time we were able to hop around the world and watch our chapters do their thing, watch them steward and host their communities, watch them lift up local creative voices. And it was really a magical thing. We at HQ at Creative Mornings called into over 250 chapter events during the time of the pandemic. So it was one plus that came out of it is how we can all connect in this new way. And the idea of following sunrise around the world was such a natural expression and continuation of that. So where are we in the world? We have 25 chapters represented from Creative Mornings with us, from Cluj to Jeddah, from Istanbul to Helsinki. We're covering quite a bit of ground right now. You can see the full list of cities at theworldwidewander.com. If you haven't already, take some time to rename yourself. If you're going to be showing us the street view where you are, we'd love to know where that is. And if you're watching from home, go ahead and put your city in the chat. We'd love to know that too. But I want to take a few minutes to tell you about how Creative Mornings works. So every single month, usually on the last Friday, a crew of hundreds of volunteers wake up early, head to a venue, start setting up chairs for a monthly creative talk. Now, these volunteers work tirelessly in their city to organize the speakers, the volunteers, the coffee, the breakfast, the AV, the venues, the partners, and every other aspect of a great grassroots community event. And most importantly is that they do all of this for free, much like the experience for you here today. Creative Mornings operates as an engine of generosity. So the events are one of the expressions of that generosity, and so is the Worldwide Wander as well. It's really important for us. In some cities, you'll have a chance to pitch the entire room one of your ideas or opportunities, or hear a live musician, or find fellow collaborators. Most importantly is that you'll be among a diverse group of creative talent from your own city. And when you travel, you can make Creative Mornings part of your itinerary. You can join an event in over 200 cities in nearly 70 countries around the world. So what's happening in this time zone where we are? Let's take a look at some of the things happening. Just a few photos that stood out to me. We have a bagel alphabet coming to us from the Helsinki chapter, which is pretty amazing. Here's a group gathered in Istanbul to hear a great talk. And I love these photo frames that pop up at events, like an IRL Instagram. This is from Creative Mornings Jerusalem. And then we have this photo, which was taken, sometime in 2019, and it's from our Kiev chapter. And Creative Mornings has 3 chapters in Ukraine. And we've checked in with them at the beginning of the war, and they shared resources of local organizations doing important work on the ground. And we published that list on our blog. So there's a list of organizations you can support to support the people of Ukraine. And we tried getting them on a call with us today, but they unfortunately couldn't make it. So we're sending all of our love to our Ukraine chapters and volunteers that are there. So that's a bit about what you can expect at the next Creative Mornings in your city. And if you, by any chance, don't have a local chapter, we really encourage you to start one. You can go to creativemornings.com, find your city. If there's no host, or if you can't find your city at all, you can scroll right to the bottom of the page and click Start a Chapter. And that's going to guide you on your journey to becoming our latest and greatest Creative Mornings volunteer. So that's it. Thanks for the time, David. Appreciate that.
No, that's it's great to hear. It's great to hear and great to see. And I think an engine of generosity is a really great way of describing you guys. And I think the word engine is really good because there's a lot of energy on these calls. What on earth is propelling us through a kind of ridiculous wander around the world? And I think there's something about when you give it, you get it. It's something also about why we want to thank Rinat, Roxana, Lee, Edith, Elisa, Jen, Nico, Nikki. Your participation makes us glow, right? And it's an intimate group. We're gonna go and have we're gonna go have an experience together, led by the very wonderful Anne Dittmeyer, who I'm just about to introduce. But really, I think this is what doesn't appear in the newspapers. It's these filaments of connection, these people that, against the odds, find the time, and not just find the time. In Edith's case, they return. This kind of unreasonable commitment to creativity, to soul, to the arts. I think that's the true sort of like the spider's web, which is very delicate but incredibly strong, that we're developing here. And I think it gives me enormous hope, to be honest. So with that, I want to hand over to Anne. Anne Dittmeyer, like I said before, I'm sure you found it, those of you who know Creative Mornings, that you will turn up, meet strangers, and discover that it feels like you've known them forever. And just in a way, the same way that I think Street Wisdom and Creative Mornings were working in parallel valleys, and then one day climbed the hill and went, "Oh, you're here." It's very similar with Anne Dittmeyer, who is prête à voyager in Paris. And she is somebody who is Street Wisdom. Everything she does is incredibly parallel to what we do. She does wonderful work helping clients of hers and friends and newcomers map their futures physically and beautifully, graphically, and is somebody who has been I wouldn't say a devotee, but she's the only person, by the way, who has included a true Hollywood A-lister in a walk. She was out one day asking for questions and wandered onto the set of a Keanu Reeves movie. And Keanu Reeves appeared in her feed. So no pressure, Anne, but we're going to hand over to you. Anne Dittmeyer. What did I miss, Anne?
I don't know. I think you got it. It's still morning here in Paris, waking up. But yeah, it's wild how the world has brought us together. You know, my blog, Prêt à Voyager, the tagline has been, travel's not about where you go, but how you see the world. And that's what Street Wisdom is. And like, I just see things all the time. And it was you, David, who was leading the Creative Mornings field trip with Street Wisdom. And you had said, you know, you're allowed to ask questions during this experience. And then I was like, oh, there's a movie set, la, la, la. And I was like, I'm going to ask what the movie set is. And then that's how we got to Keanu Reeves at the tail end. So I also want to give you all permission to stick around to the end and let the magic happen there.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe let me do one thing just to set you up for success, which is just to very briefly describe what's going to happen. Shall I do that? Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, what the content of what's going to happen is up to you guys, but the structure is super simple. So it's in 3 parts. How many parts, Renat? How many parts is it in? 3. Very good. This is why we work with people of your quality. Very good. So the first part is what we call the tune-up, where Anne is going to help us tune up our senses so that we can begin to pick up much more information from the world around us than we would normally. And that's not a criticism. It's just that all of us tend to tune out a lot of the distraction in order that we can get on, and do our stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up ourselves to the distractions on the understanding that we're going to follow the distractions, follow and wander, see where they're going to take us, like Alice in Wonderland. The second, she's going to do that by giving us 3 little short wanders, each with a little instruction that she'll share. And the purpose of that is to boost our awareness. The second part is the quest, which, as Anne mentioned, is an opportunity for you to ask a question and get answers from the world. You'll discover that when we do this, the environment, which is something we often treat as out there, a background to our lives, actually can be our creative buddy, can be it's like a little puppy that wants to play if you let it. Yeah. And then in the third part, the sharing, we'll share with each other. And I think, by the way, people on the call, including in our team, it's great if we can do a little mini wanders wherever we are and really boost the power of this bubble. But we can share what happened for us as well. And we'll share whatever popped out at us, because things are going to pop out at you, and how might they be an answer to your question? So that's it. Tune up, quest, share, made to be simple so that you can take it away and it becomes your practice. I'm handing you back to Anne CreativeMornings.
Love that French accent of yours, David. There. Okay, we will get started because the best thing is going for these walks. But first off, in the chat, I'm just curious, is there anybody experiencing street wisdom for the first time? You know, we're very fortunate to have David, who is the Street Wisdom founder, as he said. So excited to go a little bit deeper and, you know, see what the world holds that's right around us. So you are welcome to do this inside or outside. It is just as powerful. You might even want to do the tune-up, the first part, in your home. And then if you want to walk for the quest, you are welcome to. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this, but just be open to the possibilities. And I'm going to give you some prompts in a minute, just so you can experience it. And also street wisdom is such a wonderful way to connect with our bodies, our physical self. And so just, you know, being able to feel your feet on the ground and walking, or however you get around, and just being in touch with ourselves. Roxana, it's your first time for you. I'm so excited for you to experience this. There is nothing to be scared about. It's just such an opening, wonderful thing. And for Renat as well. Oh yeah, and as David's reminding us, if you end up going outside, please turn your cameras on and flip the camera around, so that we can see your walks. During this whole experience, we've been able to travel to all sorts of places around the world, which is really wonderful in this experience. But I think we should go ahead and get started with this tune-up. So as David said, we have 3 parts. Or 3 parts to the tune-up, and it's going to be about 15 minutes for the first part, and then a 15-minute quest, and then we'll do some sharing at the end, and you'll be able to take any question out into the world, but one step at a time. I will help guide you through all of this. So let me just make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, so first let's express a little bit of gratitude for our feet. Feet on the ground, feel the ground, and just say thank you for feet, and take a deep breath in and notice your breath, notice your feet, start grounding into the present, and let's begin. So if it's your first time here, Nico, welcome. We will be guiding you every step of the way, and everybody can adapt all these prompts to however you need, to whatever fits your lifestyle. The first time I experienced street wisdom, I was half paying attention, and then I started seeing hearts every day ever since. So you never know what you're going to see. So we are going to start with part 1 of the tune-up, and each section is going to be about 3 minutes. So I am going to guide you into each step. So let's see, just waking up here. Thank you for your patience. Okay, step 1, I want you to be drawn to what attracts you and notice what doesn't. So you're really paying attention to what your eyes go to and what you're noticing. I want you to really embrace your inner child, and what are you seeing, what's pulling you in, and really allow yourself to be drawn towards that. What do you like the look of, the feel of, and notice what is attracting you. So I'm going to send you off for 2 or 3 minutes. I will set the timer, so don't worry about the time. If you want to keep your video on, you're welcome. If you want to turn it off, but listen to your voice, or listen for my voice, and I will call you back. So again, Right now, you are going to go for a wander wherever you are in your home or out in the world, and pay attention to what attracts you and notice what doesn't attract you. So I'll call you back in a few minutes. Okay, take about 1 more minute. Again, be drawn to what attracts you and notice what doesn't. You know, embrace that inner child in you, kid-like wander. Okay, welcome back. Great job. You all are masters at this. Well done. You've done brilliantly. If you want to pop into the chat real quick, if there's anything that you saw that David was stopping and it looked like he was smelling some flowers along the way. But what attracted you? Real quick, we're going to move on to the next tune-up because again, this is just the warm-up, getting started. And while you all were doing part 1 of the tune-up, I noticed it started to become, I have some sun here in Paris, some daylight outside my window. So we are all waking up together with that tune-up. Okay, so we are going to pop into tune-up 2, getting started, moving quickly so we can have some more time for our quest coming up. You know, not to have preferences, but I really like tune-up 2. And tune-up 2 is slow right down. And this goes so well with that video we watched from Ankit, who was talking about the power of kind of slowing down. So in this tune-up, I want you to slow everything down. You're walking, the way you move your arms. If you blink, try to blink slower. When you move your head, how slow can you go? If you are outside in the world, I want the people around you to think you are crazy. Do not worry about what other people think. This is you getting to experience the world. You know, we can slow down our minds and the rate at which we think, or the speed our hair grows. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to go for a wander slowly, because in tune-up 2, it is slow right down. So everything you're doing right now is going slow. Okay, I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. I'll give you a 1-minute warning, but enjoy your slow wander. Are you still going slowly like a sloth? You've got 1 more minute to slow down even more. How slow can you go for the last minute of part 2 of your tune-up? Okay, come on back. I'm curious, how was that going slow? If you want to let us know in the chat, you can. If you're on mobile, no, it's tricky. We want to keep you wandering as part of our workshop and get ready for a tune-up. But if there's anything you want to capture or share, go ahead and do that in the chat. And we will gear up. But you all are doing great. You are being wonderful human beings. We are exploring all around the world. You know, this is really, really exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and start introducing you to the third and final tune-up. Is everybody ready? Okay, tune-up 3 is see the beauty in everything. And this is not only seeing the beauty, you know, we use our eyes and we see things, but it's also sensing the beauty. So what do you feel, you know, and what are you noticing? We're using all of our senses. So, different parts of the world, very fragrant, different fragrances, give you that sense of travel. But the sense of beauty in everything is what we're paying attention to. So not just the obvious things that are beautiful, but also look for the less obvious things. Is there a bit of gum on the sidewalk? And maybe if you kind of zoom in and look closer, you start to see a face or a statue or a work of art. Or is it a pile of cables in the corner of your room? So your challenge for this tune-up is to see if you can find the beauty in everything. So one other little tip for going into this tune-up is to take the word gratitude and plaster that in the back of your head. And you can use it in whatever is your mother tongue, your first language, whatever feels natural to you. But as you're wandering, think of the word gratitude and really beam that gratitude out into the world. Collectively, we are doing it, everybody in this room and everybody who has been part of the Worldwide Wander. So for this last 3-minute tune-up, I want you to see and sense the beauty in everything. So 3 minutes, you just do your thing and look for the beauty around you and listen for my voice, and I will call you back. We're going to take 1 more minute on this tune-up. Remember, we are trying to sense the beauty in everything, find the beauty in everything, even what doesn't seem beautiful at first. So see the beautiful in everything and everyone. Okay, come on back. Congratulations, everyone. You have completed your tune-up. You are some master wanderers already. But I hope you come back into whatever feels stable for you. Take a moment to look around at things and hopefully things seem a little bit more three-dimensional. And you're picking up and noticing different things around you than you have recently. Marta, thank you so much for the little tour. I believe you're probably in Japan. It's such a treat to be able to have a peek into these different worlds and, you know, seeing what's happening. Yeah, and David even enjoyed watching the curl of your cat's tail. So again, you know, street wisdom can be done anywhere. It does not have to be out in an exotic place in the world. It can be in the comforts of your home. I first experienced street wisdom during the pandemic, during lockdowns, and just to really gain an appreciation and that gratitude of the world around us. So now we have this kind of this fresh set of eyes and new ways of seeing, and we're going to use this as we start to head into our quest. So the second part of street wisdom is the quest. And in order to do this, you are going to take a question with you out into the world, whether it's in your apartment flipping through books, or if you want to step outside and join the call from your mobile phone. But you are going to take a question that you would like answered. And so don't worry if you don't have the perfect question. You can adapt or update your question at any point. And sometimes you might not get your question until the very end of your quest. So, you know, one great approach for this is to say, streets, show me things I don't already know. So if you're stuck and you want to just invite the streets and the world around you to show you new perspectives, that is a great question you can take. But otherwise, in terms of thinking of questions, you might not want to ask a question like, what is the meaning of life? That might be a little bit too audacious and big going into the next like 15 minutes. And maybe you want something a little bit bigger than like, what's for breakfast? So try to find something in between. A few more questions you could consider is, what's next for me? Show me new ways to do something. You know, so often we can get fixed in a mindset of how we have to do things or how things are done. And again, we're doing this collective wander to kind of imagine new ways of doing things. So keeping that in mind. How can Anne get better at blank? So, you know, you get to replace your name. So how can you get better at doing something? You're already great at everything. Give yourself some credit too. So maybe it's, how can you give yourself some credit? How can I make today more unusually something or other? You might be at a crossroads and not sure what path to go down. So what do I need fresh answers to? So there are tons of different ways to approach this. So, you know, you can join the next Street Wisdom Quest in an hour. So don't worry if you don't have the perfect question, but take some question. Remember, it can change throughout this quest. But really, the point right now is to let your feet guide you and take you and feel wiser than your head. You know, so often we get stuck in these rational, logical minds. And right now, for the next 15 minutes, we're going on a quest and letting our feet and the world show us some answers. And don't have to interpret it right now. Just notice what you notice. Use those, you know, clues from the tune-up and that data to start looking at the world differently. And so really start paying attention to the signals around you, what you notice. I tend to see messages around me. Look for the words, look for the details. Are there any themes that you see? It could be physical, it could be reflection, it could be anything. So if you want to capture some in a note on your phone or a photo, you can. Otherwise, maybe at the end, take quick minute, we'll share it in the chat after this. So we love shares, so there's no pressure, but we love hearing from you. But again, you don't know what you're going to discover. I did not know I was going to run into Keanu Reeves in the last seconds of my Street Wisdom wander. So It could be, you know, a sign, a word on a bus, a book title that's relevant to your question. You might smell something or see a color that's relevant to your question. You might overhear something. Again, I'm going to give you permission to, if you encounter any humans, I know it's early in the world for a lot of people, you know, you could ask a question or just listen to what they're saying, or, you know, even the radio or music or song lyric can have clues. So if it's relevant, but don't force anything, stay curious. If nothing obvious is happening, notice that too. Maybe it's a good time to slow down, and keep in mind that sometimes the wisdom around us doesn't shout at us, but it whispers. So that's why we're really going to get quiet. Also speaks very much to what Anchor had spoken about with slowing down. So I think that's just about enough for me. I'm going to send you off into the world for a wander for 15 minutes. And I want you to bring back at least one thing. It can be something physical or a memory or something meaningful to your question, and really just see where your imagination takes you and enjoy the freedom to wander and notice and play. This is not school. This is not a work assignment. You are not getting a grade. You get to have fun with this. And as a reminder, you don't have to leave where you are to do this. You are welcome to. You can, you know, stay seated in your room, but if you can and have the ability to get up and walk and wander and move your body and let the world stimulate your senses, we very much enjoy that. See that Roxana is already headed down the stairs. She is ready to go. I love this. So I'm going to send you off for, you know, about 15 minutes. I'll give you a 2 or 3 minute warning, but try to take your question into the world. If your question slips your mind, just keep wandering, keep going. Don't stress. Have a great time, wanderers. And I'll see you back in 15 minutes. And if you do want to turn your camera on, we do love seeing it, but no pressure.
favorita. Y una película preferida. Claro. Uno, dos, probando, probando.
You all are doing wonderfully. I hope you keep sensing, keep wandering, asking yourself that question. Can feel and see this collective energy going. So we have a little time. So I'm actually going to give you a few more minutes to keep going. So we'll go for about 20 minutes for our quest. So if you haven't found an answer to your question, there is still time. Keep sensing, keep observing, noticing what's the world around you. And I'll call you back in a few minutes. Okay, questers, take about 1 more minute and I'm going to call you back. So again, use every last second, observing, noticing what you're pulled to. Let your feet take you where you need to go. Check in very soon. Okay, questers, great work, amazing job. You are welcome to keep wandering as we check in, but wanted to pull us back together and remind you that, of course, this is a lifelong practice, and, we're just taking a little bit of a pause right now to check in, and sharing is part of the magic of street wisdom. So we'd love for you to consider what popped out at you and how it might be an answer to your question. So something might have popped out at you that puzzles you, or you don't really know how it relates to your question. But we love that too, because sometimes our body is giving us these clues, and it might be useful and something that your mind doesn't quite know yet. So if you are able to write something in the chat that popped out at you, let us know. What is that thing you want to bring back, and how might it be an answer to your question? Or if it's anything interesting that you saw or unexpected, let us know too. And for those of you, I think there are a few people who joined a little bit later while we're on our quest. We are just sharing what happened when we let our feet guide us into the world. David saw holes and leaves, a washer in the rainy street, a ladder up, up, up. Interesting. Curious how that relates to your question. I have to say that from my seat here in Paris, it was Roxana, who I'm not sure where you are, and Alicia, who is in Romania. You both were walking and your tiles were one on top of each other. And it was this same view in different parts of the world, but it was daylight. So, and at one point, David's view also kind of paralleled that. So it was just really interesting that we can be in very different places, but have similar experiences, but you might have had very different observations or answers to your question. Oh, so you're also in Romania, Roxana. But you looked like you had more fall leaves on you. One person had more fall leaves than the other, so I wasn't sure if it's the same place, but wonderful. We'd love to hear from some of you. Don't be shy. Sometimes by you sharing something, it helps, somebody else. So what is just even one thing you observed, one thing you saw related to your question or not?
And maybe I'll kick off if that's okay. Would that be okay?
Go for it, David.
One thing is, and by the way, great job. It's like I felt really safe, and it was super clear, and you let me I felt like a beginner. So it's really fantastic. So for me, like I said in the chat, I kept seeing the holes in leaves, and I kind of didn't want to, because it felt like autumn and it felt like decay, and my brain was saying, no, you need to be positive. But anyway, it was what it was. I kept getting drawn to these holes in the leaves. And then I thought I would go outside, and I found this washer in the street. It just flirted with me a little bit. And I'm splendidly unaware of what it means. My question was, and the ladder, my question was, what am I to do with my voice, my singing voice? Because my singing voice has become I'm a singer by background, and suddenly my voice has kind of re-emerged after COVID in a stronger and more interesting way. And I'm delightfully unsure what it means. The word autumn came to me as though celebrate. There's something beautiful about that. It's not decay, but that part of the cycle where one thing ends and goes into something else. So maybe am I in the autumn of life? I don't know. And the ladder up, up, up also looked a little bit like a vocal tract. I thought, oh, it's just telling me keep going. So that's what I don't know. But I love that I don't know.
Yeah. No, and it's like autumn and the colors of leaves, and it's like using your voice, but maybe just like in a different tone or color. Interesting. I'm curious, Renat had saw a ceramic piece of an angle on a street wall. And Renat, at some point you mentioned earlier in the chat, you might give us a 360 view of Tel Aviv. Would you mind sharing about this ceramic piece? Oh, and a ceramic angel.
Sorry, it was an angel, and I can send a picture, but I don't know how I can do it. Can we send on, I took a picture of it.
You might need to, can you just describe it? Because sometimes that's fun for us to use our imaginations.
Yeah, of course. So it was just on a kind of like a fence, a wall fence. And it was just as you were asking, as you were prompting us with what we should ask the streets for. And then I saw this angel. It's like a ceramic angel that an artist made and just, pasted it on a fence. It was really small, and I didn't even know if it was an angel or not. But then I saw the wings, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm guarded or guided or being held or supported by the streets. It was kind of a magical moment for me.
Wow. Yeah. And those things that are right in front of us.
Yeah, and I think if you wouldn't have said, there was a beautiful sentence that you said, streets, what are you trying to tell me? Or how did you phrase it? What was the...
Yeah, something like streets, tell me what I need to know.
Tell me what I need to know. Yes. I was asking, David asked so I had a lot of questions. I'm in a job right now that I'm not super happy with. So I was thinking if to ask, how can I be better at my job, or how can I approach it differently? But then I asked the streets, how can I be loved and supported? Through whatever needs to happen right now. And then the angel popped up.
Ooh, I love that symbol. Yeah. And again, this is a practice you get to keep with you, but I just got like some goosebumps for you. I'm so excited for what's ahead.
We'll see. But it's so often, that we would disregard it. But if we, what I took for myself is, we see things all the time, or we don't notice things all the time, or we notice, but we don't take it in as something that's here to help us. And so all of a sudden the angel got a different meaning when I asked that question. Whereas whenever I would see it anyway, I don't think I would give it much meaning, or I don't know if I would ever notice it. So I think, it's all about the meaning we give things and how we interpret them.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said you got a picture. Also, if you want to share, if you're on social media, Instagram or Twitter is a way to share it with the group. But I also am wondering if maybe you might need to make that photo your screen background of your computer or your phone, just as a little reminder as you navigate.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I'll think how to incorporate it so I can see it more. Thank you.
You're welcome. And are you in a place where you can turn your camera on and
in a few minutes, I just walked back into my home, and the cleaning lady is here. So in a few minutes, I'll go to the balcony and I can show you the balcony.
Great.
It's really beautiful. But I can do that in just a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Wonderful. I saw, Roxana, you saw an intense moment sticker, Cayenne sun photo, the change of color, the change of color. Roxana, can you tell us at all about what you saw? If you don't mind coming off unmute. Oh, you're not sure you can use your mic. Let me just check. But I'm curious, Rox, if you can write, yeah. What was your question? I'm curious if that intense moment sticker, how that jumped out at you. And while you're typing, David pointed out for Renat that he loves the angel. You know that the origin of the word means messenger. So
I
that's
love that. I
street
love that.
wisdom.
I can show you the place where I'm in now. It's my house in Tel Aviv. Like, this is my apartment. And this is the beautiful tree I have outside my balcony. Whoop.
I've never been to Tel Aviv, but now I have.
Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, just a big tree.
Wow. And on the event right before this round of street wisdom, somebody was in India talking about looking out their balcony and all the trees and leaves. And so now we're all connecting like threads between all of these wonders. Thank you. Okay, Roxana had said that her question was, what am I missing? Because life has been a bit confusing lately. Interesting. Intense moments. I think a good reminder that sometimes there are the hard moments. Yeah. And so this is all a question that everybody can, keep taking and keep asking, which started now. Is there anybody else who'd like to share? Oh, wait, I like this. It's like another message from Roxana coming through. The sticker definitely gave me one answer. Personally, this wander has reminded me to enjoy things I used to, but have forgotten about, like the sun, photos, the change of colors. Those reminders, beautiful. And yeah, the things I used to love, yeah. And enjoy. Interesting. Is this resonating with anybody else or anything that you saw? I don't know if Nikki or Lee or Marta, you were in Kyoto. Marta, are you able to pop off and let us know what you saw, what you noticed? Maybe not. Nikki, are you there? Maybe everybody's asleep.
So
oh, there's
it's
Marta.
Marta. Yes, it was really funny because all around me it's written in Japanese, right? So it's all either kanji, katakana, or hiragana, and then which I can read a little bit, but not that much. And so it's funny because I was passing in front of a barber shop, and there was a sentence in French, and the sentence said, more or less like translated into English, it is time to set your heart on fire. And my question was, I just started a new project, and I was asking the street, like, how this is going to change my life, my work, and so on and so forth. And then I just happened to see this barber shop with this sentence in French, and it was really funny because it really like came. I noticed it because it was so different from all the other things, that the signs that were written. And so, yeah, it was really interesting to walk with a question. It's the first time that I do that, and I really love it. Thank you.
Oh, that's so magical. And that you're in Japan, you speak French, because not everybody would know the meaning of that sign. And, luckily I allowed a little bit of an awkward silence there to hear that wonderful, magical story and, this new chapter, a new thing. And, the
Yes.
time to set your heart on fire. Wow.
Yes. So I took a photo, and we were saying, it's not possible to share photo, but it says, il est temps de brûler dans ton cœur. So I hope that my translation in English was pretty accurate. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, and if you want to share that on social media to, just to as a way to see it as a collective, but oof, these are so wonderful. And again, it's like imagining these possibilities. And I have a feeling that somebody else in this room might have needed to hear, hear what you saw as well.
And it's amazing to me, as you saying, the way that the synchronicities and the connections happen. I love the fact that Marta saw something in French and translating into English, and that's you. That's what you're living in France, constantly translating into English. So that French filament there. And the other thing that came to mind as Marta was talking is many years ago, one of our participants in Street Wisdom had a similar experience to Marta in that idea of walking with a question. So beautifully put, Marta, so simple. I wish I should put that in my book. I should rewrite the book and just put walking with a question. But she said, she came back and she said, the city is a stone book. And this idea that you can read your surroundings, whether it's a city or the nature, as a book, is what I think countless generations of humans did before there were books. Is we read our surroundings and saw meaning, symbolic and otherwise, in it. And I think we're just reminding ourselves that that's possible.
Yeah.
Renat,
Well,
sorry, I beg your pardon.
Oh no, you go, David.
No, sorry, I'm slide back into being a participant. Sorry.
I was just going to say that that's a nice segue to what you always say at the end of the Street Wisdom. We've got about 4 minutes left, that the beauty that you're seeing is actually a reflection of the beauty within you. And so everything that you've seen today is, a reflection of our future selves. So.
Yeah, I mean, but back to Renat's messenger, just to think about, I love the concept from Jung, where Jung said, anything that interests you now, or anything that flirts with you, and in a way, we're allowing the world to flirt with us, yeah? And sort of send us glimmers. We're not quite sure what the angel means, yeah? But it means, what he said is, everything that interests you now is your future self seeking to manifest in the present moment. So in some ways, Renat, the angel is you talking back to you. And maybe you want to think, it's a way of thinking about it, that the future Renat has sent the angel back. It's just an interesting way to think about it. What might Renat been trying to tell Renat? And in some ways, I think that's really what's happening, is that people see Street Wisdom in different ways. But as Anne said, it's really everything you see out there that's beautiful is you talking back to you. Sorry, Anne, I hand back to you.
We're wrapping up soon. I just want to share that Nikki had shared, I was on a wander before, and it seems like, interestingly, the answer to my new question was the same answer from the wander before. What came to me was what I saw, sensed, felt was the same. Interesting. It keeps coming up.
Well, there is a consistency, and there's a wisdom. Yeah, it's not random. There is a wisdom in us, and it wants to say things. It wants to tell us individually and collectively, and we're listening to that. And it's a beautiful thing to see in this worldwide wonder. I know that we're moving on next around the world. Kyle, where are we headed next?
We're heading our way across Europe. So we'll be heading into, I don't think we're on our way to the UK. So Western Europe, we're going to be in Germany, we're going to be in France, we're going to be in Spain, and across West Africa as well. Our chapters in Lagos, Kigali might be joining us. We'll see. We've got a bunch of people in the wait room. So yeah. Thank you, and thank you so much, and David, also just for your continued shared insights, being able to find such an amazing practice to be able to describe things the way that you do. And for everyone watching too, we want to hear your stories. So things that stood out to you from your walk, things that you noticed. We've built a forum to share your story from your wander on the Worldwide Wander website. So you can do that, and you can of course stay in touch and keep in touch with Straight Wisdom and Creative Mornings. We hope one of those organizations is new to you, so you get to enjoy it for your time. But any closing thoughts before we start our transition, team?
Just want to again spend gratitude to Kyle for making 24 hours happen and being ambitious, and David for bringing this, and Philip's also part of behind the scenes. So my gratitude to everybody and everybody who joined, because I get so inspired and excited each time I hear what people discover on this. So thank you for sharing, and yeah, keep wandering.
Thank you so much. This was amazing.